Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is the Hebrew Jamaican Coolie back again with another morning video. And in this video, I want to talk about theories of the scriptures, theories of the Bible that I've had for years. Friends and I have had these theories for years. I'm 41 now. And I've been a Christian, or I've been a disciple. I've been baptized since I was 14. That's a very, very long time. That's almost, say, 30 years. In the next 3 years, I'm going to be, baptized. Anyway, so listen to this. I want to talk about the Tower of Babylon and why the Most High confounded our language and separated us as a people, because we don't like to listen more time, and we like to do evil every time we come together. And that's one of the main points about why unity is not gonna happen, because unity is not happening under the Most High, it's happening under man. And when unity happens under man, we tend to do a lot of things to defame the Most High and go against the Most High and think of ourselves as God. This is why unity will never happen under man. Our peace will never happen under man. Peace will happen under the Most High, or under Yahushua HaMashiach. Anyway, so for years I've said this, and this was mainly my theory when I spoke to my friends. If you read the scriptures and read it all throughout, you will realize a consistency of what is the dimensions and the realms. Moses spoke about the realm of glass. Many people talk about the realm of the spirit. Paul himself went to the realm of the spirit and said, basically, and a friend and I were talking about this last night. He said that he was brought up to the third heaven, right? And whether he was in the body or he was in the spirit, he was unable to tell the difference. You understand? But he knew that he wasn't on earth anymore. Anyway, that being said, what was the Tower of Babel, and why was the language confounded before the Most High? Right? Let's go through that. Let's dig through that right now. Understanding the dimensions. Let's talk about the dimensions. Let's talk about Genesis first. Let's start from Genesis. In Genesis, it says that in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. There are 3 heavens that Genesis speaks about. The first heaven is the sky above us. The second heaven is outer space, which is above that heaven. And the third heaven is the dimension where the Most High resides, where the Most High lives, where the angels live. Alright? Now, let's talk about the Tower of Babel. When, after Genesis now, and we were told to separate and go about our business and spread and be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth once more, we decided that we would be disobedient. And basically, we said that we're going to piss off the Most High by creating a tower that reaches into heaven. I don't believe it was a tower per se, and this is my theory. This is what I told my friends. My friends had their theories, but this is my theory. My theory is that the Tower of Babel was a dimensional gate. It was a dimensional gate that they wanted to use to open up the fabric of the universe and go into heaven in that way. Not only did we have the ability to still do that, we were still living long enough. Because remember, after the flood, even though our age was significantly cut down, we still lived long enough to have enough knowledge and wisdom and to experiment enough to be able to understand the sciences of, creating dimensional gates. Not only that, I also believe that during Genesis, when we were there corrupting the earth and stuff like that, because we lived so long, we lived beyond 100 years, we'll live beyond 200 years. Right now we can't even fathom living beyond 80 properly, or living beyond 60 properly, because by the time most of us reach 60, we're casting off the earth. So most of us can't even fathom living beyond 100 years. The only way we're able to even to look at 100 years before us is through the historical, artifacts we have, and the pictures and the movies now depicting what 100 years, 200 years, 300 years, 400 years look like, right, before we came upon the earth. I'm just trying to give you a visualization of, what was happening before now. Now, if you have the ability to live past 100 years without it affecting your health so much, with you still having enough vigor to run around the place, to get all you need, to get all the chemicals, to get all your wirings, to get all your knowledge and your wisdom together, right? And still live long enough to build a machine with like-minded individuals, meaning people who are basically scientifically savvy. If you are able to practically live that long to acquire that knowledge and basically, you understand, put things together to build a machine that becomes a dimensional gate, just as how we're saying right now, CERN is a machine that they're using to be a dimensional gate into the realm of the spirit, right? If you live long enough, I can guarantee you, even the dumbest person, if they live long enough, they will become a very smart person, because they will have acquired enough knowledge to do this. You understand? Nobody's gonna stay dumb forever. I can guarantee you that. People are gonna wise up if they live long enough. If you live for over 200 years, if you live long enough, like to say, let's say the human experience is basically 500 years. If you live more than 60 years, that's more than enough years to wise up. I can guarantee you that. That's more than enough years to wise up. If you watch a lot of shows in terms of vampires, you ever notice that the vampires are always wealthy? In the shows, the vampires are always wealthy. Why is that? Well, what the show is basically telling you is that if you live long enough, you will be able to figure out and have the knowledge and even to start to create your own wealth. You'll live long enough to figure it out. That's exactly what most of these shows are saying, that vampires living long enough, even though it doesn't matter to them if they have wealth or not, they live long enough to basically learn how to acquire wealth and to pass down wealth, or to live with wealth for a very long time. Acquire, sustain wealth. You understand? Alright, that's not deviating from the point. I'm just like giving you guys understanding of how this could possibly work. Now, after the flood in Genesis, where most of the wisdom and the knowledge of the people that were before the flood washed away, because like I said before, there was an age of antiquity before the flood. An age in which, because everything was so pure on the earth, everything that God made was perfect, every medicinal plant was present. As Kent Hovind likes to say, and I agree with Kent Hovind, what we live on is a basic junkyard of what the earth was before the flood. Everything has practically been washed away. You understand? Every resource that we could have, that were probably being used before the flood, was washed away. This is why we're not able to corrupt ourselves as we think we can corrupt ourselves now, because a lot of the things that were available to us before the flood is no longer available to us, because it's buried beneath us, and we have to dig it up. And if it's not buried, it's destroyed by the flood. So we can't even use it because it's no longer there. It's no longer present. It's eliminated. It's evaporated. It's decimated. Now, if you come after the flood, there will still be knowledge of the world that was before the flood that you're going to be able to find and to use. So the question is, why did they choose that particular area in on earth to build that dimensional gate? Why? Because the knowledge was there. And if the knowledge wasn't there, they created the knowledge themselves through research and through living long enough to corrupt themselves. We tend to think that we are the smartest generation alive. We're the smartest people alive. We're the wisest man alive. And yet we can't figure out a lot of things that they used to do, or how they used to build these megalithic structures. And we ourselves can't even come to build them, because the materials that we even have now don't even withstand the test of time properly. Am I lying? I know I'm not lying. Right? So now, listen to me. Listen to me. They chose that area because the knowledge and wisdom from the past was there before the flood. And they decided that they would build a dimensional gate that would take them through the dimensions to the realm where the Most High resides. This is why the Most High came down and said, okay, apparently you people not getting the message, but I already made a promise that I am not going to destroy the earth by flood anymore. I am now going to just confound the language and make them go live elsewhere. So when he confounded the language and everybody got confused and there was a lot of babble, that's where we get the word from. Babel, the word Babel from the word Babel. So when everybody started to babble, when one man said, hey, pass me the brick, another man say konnichiwa or hayo gozaimasu. You understand? That's Japanese for, you know. Anyway, so that's how our languages came about and became different and changed, right? Our language was confounded, and everyone who sounded the same, they came together and they moved. This time they decided to listen, right? And then move out. But we're not really here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the dimensional gate and the fact that the Tower of Babel was going to be a dimensional gate. There's no way that the Most High is going to basically punish someone just because they build a tall building to reach into the sky. We have tall buildings that reach into the sky right now, and the Most High is not punishing it. Him not tearing it down. Why? Because these are not dimensional gates. They're not being used to try to reach into heaven. I know also that a lot of us believe that, you know, the dome is up there, and that basically we live in a globe. I sort of believe that too. Because when I see certain like people firing them rockets and hitting into the dome, I'm like, yo, that means that the dome is still there. The sheet of wall of water hard water is still above, or the sheet of glass is still above us, protecting us from the harmful rays of the sun. But I also believe that there is a hole in the sheet of glass. And the reason why I say that is because if these guys have really and truly gotten a rocket through and gone to the moon before, then there must be a hole that they have found and have used to get through the dome, and that hole must have been left by the asteroid that hit us that caused the flood. Remember now, do you know what caused the flood? An asteroid hit us and caused the earth to crack, and the water came from inside the earth. So that hole in the dome is probably still there. And these political officials know about this information, and they probably use it to their advantage, and they probably don't realize that maybe the hole in the dome rotate just as how the earth rotates. Maybe the hole in the dome rotates, and they're probably trying to take pop shots to see if they can eventually get something through the hole again, which is why we haven't been to the moon a second time. I know they claim that how we lost the wisdom and the knowledge and the technology to go to the moon again, but I don't think that's the case. I think it's that they can't find a hole. They can't find a hole in the atmosphere, in the dome to go out there. So that's just my theory. But back to, you know, again, the Tower of Babel was a dimensional gate that they were going to use and go into heaven. And the only reason why the Most High would confound their language is the fact that they would their calculations were actually right. You understand? And because of their wicked imaginations and the wisdom that they had and the age was on their side. They had the ability to live a little bit longer than we did and be able to basically do it. You understand? Because the Most High wouldn't confound your language and anything like that if you didn't have the ability to do something evil like that. Because if they were to do that, they would be sinful beings stepping into the realm of heaven. So that's just my theory, guys. That's my theory. I want you guys to tell me what you think. This is the Hebrew Jamaican Coolie. Peace. I'm out. I hope you guys have a happy Shabbat and stuff. I will see you guys. Bye-bye.